An interesting looking transaction from Panther Metals today, quite high value, if I'm honest. Here to talk about it today, joining us, Darren Hazelwood. Darren, good to be with you.
Good to see you again, Alistair.
So tell us about this transaction. You've transacted with some big names in mining here, a couple of parties on the other side. It's an asset in Canada. Tell us more.
Yeah, it's the Winston Lake mine site and Pick deposit. The mine site was owned by First Quantum and currently still is, and the Pick deposit is owned by a company called Frontier in Australia. It's 2 million tons, high grade zinc, gold, copper, silver. Now, what we've done, we've combined the two sites, and that's where the real value creation is for the business. The the Australians, what they've done during this bear market, that fortunately is showing signs of evaporating. They pivoted away to build the biggest solar panel park in Western Australia, or Australia itself, actually. And the Winston and the Pick deposit have become a stranded asset for them. They kept it because of its prospectivity, but they pivoted away from exploration. And basically, towards the end of the year, in fact, my first email on this potential project was on the 16th of December 24. I had a little look this morning on that. And what we've done, I reached out to them then because I could sense that the market had no further to go on the downside. And in fact, all the signs are that this market is going to gather momentum and continue to grow. We know that it's been underinvestment for 20 years. We keep calling it that it has to go at some point. But all now we're in the real world of last year we saw zinc shortages. We've seen copper struggle for supply this year. We all know what's happened with gold. We can see what's happening with silver at the moment. Basically, it's happening in front of our eyes. And we're on the accelerator path with the industry, but also so now as a companies, we also have to join that. I've maintained my principles over the last 3.5 years, to some frustration for some, but if you're talking into that market was almost a death sentence for a lot. And we maintained our capital structure. And yeah, so we put the two projects together. It makes sense. The Winston side of it, it's got everything you need. It's got a great road access. It's got power on site, transformer. It's got the tailings facilities already there. In fact, it's got a ramp that goes down to the Pick deposit itself from the mine site. And it's an absolutely beautiful project for a company, for any sort of company up to a mid tier. But for a junior micro cap, it's extraordinary that we've managed to do this deal. But we've worked diligently. We've worked with people who've got integrity, even when the market started to change. They didn't look to take advantage of that. We worked together. It's quite complex because you've got two different sides working at different paces, and they all stayed in there with us. And between us, we got it over the line. So it's absolutely extraordinary for a company of Panther's size.
So we should emphasize that this project or these projects that are being combined here are pretty well advanced, aren't they? I mean, it's a former mine and there's an economic model that's out in the public domain that we can talk about. Probably will be updated, I imagine, but nevertheless, the existing numbers are very attractive to show what can be done in terms of EBITDA and NPV.
Absolutely. At the moment, so this is a historic feasibility study. However, it only goes back to 2021. It's 4 years old. It's almost as new as you could wish for. And the post-tax NPV is 126 million, pre-tax is 176. Now, don't forget that that's also at an 8% discount. If you remove the discount, it's actually over 300 million. You've got an EBITDA of 67.6 million on an average per annum basis over the 8.5 year life of mine. 8.5 year life of mine, exceptionally high grade zinc. We've got copper, gold and silver. You've got a capex on the mine build from that report of around 149 million Canadian dollars. The reason that that's so low is because of the infrastructure that's already in place. This has, for instance, is completely fenced off. You come up to the mine site, it's got a security office as you hit the edge of the mine site. It's got a working water treatment plant that First Quantum are maintaining and will continue to maintain during the option period. This is almost beyond brownfield. It's quite something.
So you mentioned the capex number there, and now I imagine that with a project that is as advanced as this, about which so much is known, and given the jurisdiction you're in and some of the parties you've been involved with, you might find that financing this project is relatively simple. I mean, I know I say relatively because I know nothing's ever simple in the mining and finance world, but I mean, this isn't sort of, you're not coming at this with fear and trepidation. I imagine there's a lot of positives as far as getting this mine financed going.
This is not the sort of project that you struggle to get any type of finance on. So it's above the normal you would see inside a junior explorer, but you do not struggle. The reason that I brought this to the market and told the market that at some stage to convert this option we'll need to raise, at the moment all the indications are that's going to go via Canada, so London's completely out of the picture, is to give our existing shareholders the chance to benefit, as opposed to take that dilutive hit at the front end, because there's more news to come. Our target is the low-hanging fruit. Our target is to extend mine life. We believe we can do that on this site without putting a single drill hole in the ground. But look, you're going to have to follow the news flow, news story, and there could be some pretty incredible developments. There's something that's worth mentioning in terms of capex to build. The UK have a critical minerals fund that nobody seems to be aware of. As long as at least 20% of that, as long as 20% of the production comes through the UK, then the UK government are prepared to put up to 100% guarantee for any bank that's prepared to lend against it. And with an IRR currently at around 26%, we believe that we wouldn't struggle to tick the boxes that the UK government need. We've had those conversations, and we've had the conversations with potential off-takers in London that would be the conduit for us to channel that 20% through. And look, they would say to us, 20%, we'll take 100%. These guys want to do business. So we've found a route that is non-dilutive to even build, but that isn't our first steps here. Our first steps are to increase mine life, and that's what we'll be targeting.
So increase mine life. Now, let's sort of expand that out a little bit and talk about the exploration upside in general that you've got at this property. What does it look like from your perspective?
All the hard miles have been walked on that. Within the feasibility study, which people should review, the exploration models are already built. They're already, the targeting is there. They just weren't executed. Now you've got lenses running across this project that we know bear a lot of similarities to the current deposit, the Pick Lake deposit, and also to the historic deposit which was underneath the Winston mine site. They've never been conducted. We know of showings of 8.5% zinc at surface, right on top of a structure that runs parallel with the Winston mine site. That's slightly further to the north, but within the contained project area. That's one. There's 7 targets that were high priority before we've even got there, and with grade at surface. So we're very confident that we can grow this at some point way beyond what the current model shows.
So this morning you announced the significant appointment of a new advisor. Tell us a little bit about that, Darren.
Yeah, look, Julian's a great guy. His background speaks for itself. He was a director of Trident Royalties. They were sold for 144 million sterling last year. He's in Zurich. He's a private equity guy. He's a mine finance guy. He doesn't come into junior explorers with a market cap of 2 or 3 million. He doesn't need to. This is a guy that could pick any business north of 30 million. And that's the plan here, is to quickly accelerate with our asset base up there and beyond. And Julian will be a great help in that. He's been very useful for me personally on the transaction that we're discussing today. And he brings a wealth of experience. You go into London, he isn't a guy that's well known by the investing public. You go into London, you mention Julian, and straight away everybody of any significance goes, "Oh, Julian!" Oh, his history, his knowledge, and his experience speaks for themselves. And we're really looking forward to bringing Julian on. He fills a gap in the business, and at this point, I think it sets a tone that everybody understands the direction of travel of Panther and why he's coming in now, and the future growth and the trajectory we're on.
Now, you mentioned in passing there the asset base, sort of plural. So just to wrap it up, Darren, tell us a little bit about what's going to happen to the existing assets that are already inside Panther, given the new transaction obviously does seem to change things.
New transactions in addition, everything else will be still running parallel. Dotted Lake is a prime example that it's been missed by the market. Last week, Barrick, who are looking for gold, their project has now moved right almost exactly onto our border, bar 400 meters. They're looking for gold. We know the syncline from on Dotted Lake that runs through Lansom Lake is gold bearing. Well, at the moment, we've pretty much left that alone. The gold side, we know there's gold there. We know there's high grade gold, because we're watching what everybody else does, because we sit right in the middle of this. So it's basically a free moment in time on the gold. But this ultramafic body that we targeted, we put 3 holes in there. We know it contains nickel. We know it contains copper. The surface grades on both are obscene for Ontario. That we've talked to the people that have got a bit more knowledge locally and have made the big discoveries. They are absolutely convinced that this ultramafic body, that's this huge, it's for over 4 kilometers long, it's exceptionally wide, that this will contain the massive sulfide that has the high grade nickel and copper. We're extremely confident. We'll continue running that. We want to do an IP survey on ground this summer. That'll hopefully help identify some of the high grade massive sulfide. But over on Abonga, Awkward just continues. We had a conduit theory that I've banged on about for years, and everything we've done there has further enhanced that theory. And now we've had further progress with the geologist out of the Thunder Bay Geological Office. He's absolutely all over this, Jonathan. In the last couple of months, we've discovered that some of the historical core that's right near this potential conduit is almost a mirror image of the core from Lac Deals. And don't forget, the remnant mag of Lac Deals and the remnant mag at Awkward are almost identical. Lac Deals is 80 kilometers to our south. It's been producing for 25 years. It sold for $1 billion in 2019. Back on Awkward, we've got platinum palladium at service at the T showing. Their grades are awesome. That's right at the start of the conduit. The conduit runs down and it continues. And we believe this was the feeder for the Awkward batholith. What happens, the commodities run through the conduit. And because the commodities are heavier than the fluids that run through the conduit, so this is magma running through for millions of years. The commodities sink to the bottom, so they form a layer, or the discovery layer, all the way along the bottom of the conduit. And our theory is that that's exactly what's happened here. Everything we've done, everything we're seeing is telling us that. We know that the rocks now from historical drilling match Lac Deals. We hit 27 meters of 2.25% graphite from our own drilling. That was seen as a massive pathfinder for this, because graphite needs a heat source that runs over millions of years to form naturally. And the only place that that would actually happen is in a conduit, and where that magma is flowing through. So we'd already found our own pathfinders. Others have found more. We've got a historic core that's proving that up. Look, the historic core that's never been tested for platinum palladium, the geologists that went to look at it, including Jonathan out the Thunder Bay office, they got really excited when they were in there. We've now sent 20 samples to be tested for platinum palladium due to the visuals. It's really exciting. At Bonga again, we've got Wishbone. Wishbone, we've made the discovery. We know this is a VMS system. It's a huge system. We flew mag there about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We've just had that drone mag data back. We're really liking what we're seeing. Don't forget, at Wishbone, we discovered 11.6% zinc over about half a metre. And the Wishbone system is huge. We've also discovered that the survey area, which is 7 kilometres from Wishbone, is a further VMS. We had 14%, and that's from 0.14% zinc over 14 meters there. So that's confirmed as another VMS. This has the potential to be a genuine VMS camp in Canada. We believe that we're uncovering that camp, but it's going to take time. It's that the asset base within Panther now, it just simply couldn't be stronger.
Well, finally, to close us out then, Darren, tell us a little bit about the news flow that investors can expect for the rest of the year and into 2026.
There's going to be plenty. We probably can work through the Wishbone. We have got the drone survey, 3D inversion modelling being done at the moment. So we're not going to announce those results until we've got that through, because it makes it clearer for investors and for ourselves. Awkward's an interesting one. I've been vocal. We have interest in Awkward, but I don't know. I may kick them into touch for the sake of 3 drill holes. This would be a £20 million plus if you made a discovery there, because it's huge. But I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll make those decisions when they come to it. At Dotted Lake, we'll do the ground IP survey. Again, we don't lack for interest in Dotted Lake, but we've got this project's in good standing for many, many years. Let's get the IP survey done, and then we may have further discussions elsewhere, but I very much doubt it. If there's going to be a mine in this area, it's going to be over that ultramafic system that we've uncovered. We put 3 holes in. It's equivalent to putting 3 pinholes into Wembley Stadium, what we've done so far. And the results, don't forget, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters of nickel-bearing ultramafic rock from that drill program from late autumn. The market went, nah, well, the market doesn't always know. But that's fair enough. I've got to respect the market. And then, of course, we're back onto Winston and the PIC deposit. The first thing you're going to see from there is going to be what I'll be talking about, the low-hanging fruit. We believe that we've identified an opportunity that, frankly, will blow people's minds, that hasn't been looked at before, and we'll start to talk about that over the coming days, hopefully. And as you put the pieces together at Winston, you'll see that whilst people may expect us to go straight in there looking to drill, far from it. We don't need to do that, we don't believe, but we'll see.
Well, we look forward to watching you making progress across all fronts, Darren. Very good to talk to you today.
And you, Alistair, thanks.